Friday. My name is Lily Arguello, and I'm spending the next 60 minutes with you. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. During this 60 minutes, we're going to be learning about the key benefits of PIHRA membership and how to get you involved in those benefits. And want you to feel free to ask questions. We're using the box primarily to interact, but we may have time to unmute you. So don't don't feel scared or worried that I'm going to ask you to unmute. This is a very welcoming community. You are supposed to be here. So if we have time, I do have a lot to cover and I do talk a lot. But I do want to hear from you. So I am here with my special guest, Sonia. She could wave to everybody. She's going to introduce herself in a moment, but we're here to make sure that you get the most out of your membership. If you like, please let us know where you're cybering in from. I am working from home today and I'm in Huntington Park. I don't know, it's not Huntington Beach, it's Huntington Park, around 4.5 miles. All right, Chris, that's no, because I'm like 4.5 miles southeast of downtown LA, if you know that area. But I think we have people coming from all over, Thousand Oaks, Ventura, Fontana, Inland Empire, maybe even Victorville. So you're all welcome here. Thank you so much. So let's see, where are people coming from? Santa Clarita, all right. Pomona, Valencia, same. Oh, you, Jennifer, and someone else. Angelina, you guys are neighbors, so you guys should connect. All right, Pasadena in the house. Los Alamitos, my daughter goes to Los Al High, so we all are friends here. All right, what are we covering today? So we're in the welcome and general update portion of the webinar. The next thing I'm going to do is do a poll. Hopefully that'll work. And the poll is to gauge, what did you want to walk away from this webinar with? What are your goals with PIHRA? So I really want to focus in on those things, even though I'll kind of cover a lot of overview of PIHRA, benefits and professional development and education stuff. So we'll do the poll. Then I'm going to introduce myself a little bit more, the membership team, and my special guest, Sonia Motel, who's here, who's actually also a part of the membership team. And then, like I said, we'll go through a PIHRA overview, just telling you a little bit more about PIHRA, connection with SHRM, so introduce you to some board members, talk about the PIHRA benefits. There's so many, but I'm going to talk about the 6 key PIHRA benefits, and then also just uh, build on the things that you wanted to learn about there. Learning and development, we got some conferences and seminars coming up, and then we'll just wrap it up. By the way, one of the final slides is a list of all of the PIHRA events happening. So one of the things that really differentiates PIHRA as an HR association and as a professional association is that we have 18 chapters and they're all very active. So start thinking about setting a goal for yourself to go to a PIHRA event, and maybe not just go to a PIHRA event, go to some professional networking or professional education event, because it's so important. I say this all the time. HR is a challenging profession. It's also a very gratifying profession, but you don't want to do HR alone, and that's why we're here. As some of you can attest, it can get a little hairy doing HR in the workplace, or being involved in HR as an HR adjacent person. Okay, general update. So I started this general update during the pandemic. So we are post-pandemic, but I'm sorry, I'm still like melancholy about pre-pandemic times. I wish I could go back there, but we're in post-pandemic. A lot happened during that time. One of the things is that we went virtual. So we're doing at least 3 webinars per month, and they're free for PIHRA members. There's one coming up that I'll tell you about in a moment. That's fantastic. I want to do that one. So that's something you should take advantage of, and they all have HR certification credit. The best way to look for events happening, whether they're webinar or in person, because we have a lot of in person going on too, is to go to the PIHRA calendar, and I'll put that in the chat. That is going to be your go-to if you're wondering what's happening with PIHRA. How do I get to a meeting? When's the next meeting for Ventura County? When's the next meeting? Go to the PIHRA calendar. A lot of our chapters are meeting, like I said, but another product of the pandemic is that we started thinking meeting our members where they are. Pre-pandemic, a lot of our chapters did the very traditional networking, educational events in the morning over breakfast, and some did it over lunch. Well, now our chapter, not everyone can make a breakfast meeting or a lunch meeting or even an evening event. So they're rotating their events. And PIHRA North OC is a great example. Is anyone in the, Christine, you're close to North OC, so this might be relevant for you. So they meet out of Anaheim. They'll do a morning kind of traditional breakfast meeting with professional development. Then the next month, they'll do a lunchtime idea lab type of event over lunch. And then the third month, they'll do an evening social. And they have a volunteer that is a member at the House of Blues Foundation room. So they have the best socials there. And it's also coupled with some educational component, but it's more of like a mini learning. So that is a great example of what our chapters are doing. PIHRA South Bay, they meet out of the El Segundo Hawthorne area. I'm not sure if anyone's in that area, but they do something similar, breakfast meeting, but they'll do a webinar instead of a lunchtime meeting and then a social afterwards. So just look out for your chapter. And as members, you can go to any PIHRA event. So I see there's some people in Camarillo, Sonia, out your way. So we'll talk a lot about Ventura County as well. Okay, so now for the poll, and feel free to chat us up if you have any questions or even a comment. Please put it in the chat. So let me look for my poll. As soon as I launch it, you should be able to find it in the chat. And let's see, it's launching. All right, you should see a poll. If it's not in the chat, it should be right on your screen. Yes, thumbs up. What would you like to learn more about? I didn't write this right, or I'm not reading it right, but what would you like to learn more about in the next 60 minutes? Do you want to learn about PIHRA chapters or monthly meetings, seminars, the PIHRA workplace by mineral? So tell me, what do you want me to focus on? All right, I'm seeing responses. I got 7 so far. We got a good group, so please let us know. And if there's something that you want to know about that's not here, just put it in the chat and we'll focus on that. But I'm going to be looking at the most frequent responses and focusing on that. Okay, I got 12. I'm going to give it another 20, 30 seconds. Number 1 is monthly meetings. All right. And then seminars, chapters, mineral, chapters, mineral, and the PIHRA Shrimp connection. I put that in just because I wanted to see if this was working. So maybe that was my response, but all right, well, I don't know if you could see the responses in the chat. That's one thing that I know.
I'm on the meeting, dude.
I'm going to close the poll. But if you weren't able to respond to the poll, just put it in the chat and I'll get to it. So those are the things I'm going to be focusing on. The PIHRA monthly meetings. We'll go through some seminars. That's kind of in the later part of my presentation. We'll definitely talk about chapters, a mineral, and the PIHRA shrimp connection, and all of the other things. But feel free to, if I don't answer a question that you had, a specific question, put it in the chat. And if I can't answer it right now, I'll absolutely send an email afterwards with some additional information, or we could set up some time to chat. So we have a lot to cover, so let's get going. Here's where I'm introducing myself a little bit more. I'm right here on the right. Yeah. My full name is Liliana Arguello. If you look me on LinkedIn, that's what you're going to see as my name. Everyone calls me Lily. I started my career in organizational development consulting. So I kind of grew up in the consulting world, which is a little odd. I have a different career path. I ended up wanting to go internal in HR org development. That didn't seem to work out. It was right around 2007, 2008. The great recession was happening, and I ended up going to nonprofit. To kind of speed through all that, I ended up working at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles. It's the largest leadership development program for women in the world, and I really love my time there. I was helping to grow the program in the lower income quartiles of LA County. During that time, I did a lot of volunteer leadership work. I helped start the first professional chapter of the National Association of Women MBAs. And that's a plug for volunteer leadership. If you're not volunteering, think about it, especially if you want to grow in your career. That's how I got this job. I had a pretty well developed LinkedIn profile. There's a lot better profiles out there. But my current job, supervisor, our CEO, Rafael Rivera, who I'll introduce you to, found me through that because we had similar connections, and he knew someone I work with um, uh, on that project with the National Association of Women MBAs. So a plug for having a fantastic LinkedIn. That's how people are getting hired now, and also for volunteer leadership. So my phone number and email are here. I am great on email. But you can call me and leave me a message if I don't pick up. The best way to talk to me is either set an appointment with me or catch me at one of our PIHRA events, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. So I used to have someone else on my team, but now I have Sonia Montiel. So it's just the two of us, Sonia, and we're a fantastic team. So she is a volunteer leader, and she's going to introduce herself in a moment. She represents our members at the board level, at the association-wide level. And we'll talk a little bit more about the structure in a moment. Very accessible. You'll see her a lot at PIHRA Ventura County, at our conferences as well. And I credit Sonia for really helping me take the work that we do with our volunteers in the membership arena to another level this year. We're having some fun and really spending some quality time talking about high impact things that will help our membership. So I'm so grateful for Sonia. You could email her or at this email address. That's probably the best way to get a hold of her. But now I'm going to mute myself so Sonia can introduce herself a little bit more to you. Thanks, Sonia.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lily. Yeah, everything that we do together, I always call it the Lily and Sonia show because that's what it feels like. It's just this awesome energy that we share. So I am a co-founder for PEQ Performance Consulting. I do team leadership and talent development in the spaces of education and nonprofit. My background is 20 plus years in higher education, particularly admissions and advocacy. I worked at UC Santa Barbara. I don't know if we have any gauchos in the house. Put it in the chat. All right, I want to feel that. And then I went into working for an international company where we served families and students worldwide. And then way back in the early 2000s, I was an HR of one for the construction industry. And so that was such an eye opener. I was accounts payable, accounts receivable, HR, and workers' comp all into one. It was an adventure. I really loved the experience there. And then just my fun passion project. I am an education writer for a global magazine called Aware Now. If you're interested in that, contact me. I'll give you some links. I've highlighted companies and individuals who are just protecting lifelong learning. I'm also a national writer for Link for Counselors to make sure that how the adults show up for students in schools is in wellness, no matter what. So I wanted to share this particular moment in my origin story of PIHRA, because it's very interesting, and it began where you are sitting right now. So January 2023. So look at the date. It's only July 2025. January 2023, I had a mantra, Sonia, just learn. Get into your learning spaces. I found PIHRA, joined PIHRA. The third month of being a member, because this might be your third month being a member, I was asked to serve as co-chair of membership for Ventura County. And you better believe it, I want to be part of a team. I said, absolutely. In that third year, I served on college relations committee. So PIHRA has college relations. Of course, that's my heartbeat. Education, yes, bring that in. I was a volunteer for the CAR conference, or California HR conference, in 2024. I was rolling up sleeves. I just wanted to build community. 6 to 8 months afterwards, I applied and was appointed membership chair for PIHRA, so the position that I am in today. And I had this inspiration, like, wow, how can I serve membership at large? So I got to attend the Volunteer Leadership Summit, which is with other volunteers who are loving and supporting our HR profession hard. So imagine getting a couple hundred volunteers in one space, celebrating that contribution was powerful. I expanded my attendance. I went to events in West LA, Pasadena. I'm going to Burbank in August. I did the Hollywood Wellness Walk. So I was just like, exposure is expansion. How do I create the ripple effect? And I think to date, I've attended 20 plus webinars and peer exchange virtual spaces. And so I want to just get a plug for peer exchange. It's virtual, it's informal, and you get in these breakout rooms where you get to really get personalized and what's on your table, what's the challenge, and I'm furthering developing those connections outside of my regional area. So my last thing is a call to action. Volunteer. I know you're just like, Sonia, I'm just trying to figure this out. Yeah, sure. And if you want just knowledge, cool, get the knowledge, learn. But if you want to apply that knowledge, become a volunteer, you are going to experience the benefits of service leadership. It's contagious, not only in my professional life, but in my personal life. The love exudes, and everyone's like, ooh, Sonia, what's going on? I said, PIHRA. You're going to, so if you want to know how your next chapter meeting, which Lily is going to explore, ask a board member, what's volunteer like? If there's not an open board position, maybe you can volunteer for a subcommittee or just a particular event. And I promise you, you don't necessarily have to follow my line and say, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm ready to be membership chair for PIHRA, but it will create some opportunities that you never thought would be a benefit. So thank you.
Thank you, Sonia, so much. And I love that within 3 months, you were already volunteering and asking to be volunteer. We'll talk about volunteering as we go, but volunteering is networking on steroids. That's how you're going to gain a lot of exposure. It's what you put into it, right? So, all right, let's keep going, because I know you want to learn about the monthly meetings and the other interesting information. So I'm going to go through an overview of the association really quickly. Here's our mission. I'm not going to read it to you, but I will tell you this: we differentiate ourselves through our 18 chapters. We have fantastic communities all throughout Southern California. I'm going to show you a map of where our chapters are, and that also coincides with where our monthly meetings are. So And we were also, it's our 80th anniversary, and we have this campaign going on regarding our 80th anniversary that'll also come up, will also come up. But we were established in 1944. We're primarily volunteer-led. Now, we are a SHRM chapter, so some of you might be interested in, 3 of you, including myself, were like, what is this PIHRA SHRM connection? So we are a chapter in good standing of SHRM. We are the largest SHRM affiliate in the United States. I know that because I get the reports. I think we're the largest SHRM affiliate in the world, but I don't get the reports. I don't know how many SHRM members there are in China or India because, it might be close. And we take a lot of pride in our connection with SHRM. We are separate entities. So there are, SHRM has their membership, and right now we have our membership. So it's a separate membership fee, just so you know, but we partner with SHRM frequently. And if you have any questions about that connection, let me know. Here's some key players. Susan Bowman, she is a volunteer, the head volunteer as the president of the PIHRA board. She has over 30 years experience in human resources, and she's currently an senior HR consultant, and you'll be able to see her at all of our conferences and events. And a couple months ago, she was going to a lot of our chapter meetings as well. Sometimes she attends our PIHRA West LA chapter. They meet out of Santa Monica. And others. So, and then this is Rafael Rivera, who I talked about earlier. He found me on LinkedIn, and he has a long history as being an association executive. He's also HR certified as a SHRM SCP and SPHR, and I credit him for rebranding PIHRA. He's been around a little longer than I have. He started with PIHRA, I think, in 2010, and I came along in 2014. He's built a fantastic team. He got us through the pandemic. He rebranded the PIHRA annual conference. For some of you who might be coming back after not being around for a while, it used to be called the PIHRA annual conference. Now it's the California HR conference. He rebranded our employment law update, which is coming up in October. It used to be the PIHRA legal update in January, and we would have like mid-year updates. Now it's the California employment law update, and we're doing it in October, right after the governor signs all the laws into effect. So feel free to reach out to him. He's on LinkedIn a lot. Right now he's in Spain somewhere. I'm a little jealous, but you can send him a message on LinkedIn telling him that you met me and that you loved this orientation, or just give him feedback. He's open to that as well. Here's a little bit about our member demographics. So who is your cohort? Who are the members that are surrounding you? We have right around 3,400 members. That is a lot less than we had pre-pandemic. Remember, I told you I was a little melancholy about the pre-pandemic phase. We had gotten close to 5,000 members. Right now, again, we're at right around 3,400 members. They're representing over 2,000 companies. Let's see what else is important here. 40% of our members are certified with an HR certification through HRCI. I saw two of you were interested in HR certification. We could talk later about that, but they're either certified through HRCI or SHRM. The large majority of our members are at the HR manager generalist level. We have right around 22% are HR directors, and right around 9% are at that very senior CHRO level. I'd like to point out around 17% are service providers. If you're an HR practitioner, don't be scared of the service providers. Most of those folks, they're natural partners to HR. They're the insurance brokers, the wellness firm people, the staffing agents, the leadership development coaches and consultants, the organizational development consultants, and the training and development folks. Maybe not training and development folks, but those people that have their own organizations that provide services to HR, a lot of them come to build relationships. They're connectors. So I encourage you, if you are a service provider, come here with the goal of just building relationships, getting to know what HR's pain points are, helping them get better. I know, for example, I live right in between PIHRA Los Angeles and PIHRA Long Beach, and I went to a PIHRA Long Beach meeting one day, and one of the service providers and insurance brokers raised his hand. He said, "Hey, I know of an HR director position in downtown LA. If you'd like an introduction, please come see me." And so they're always so willing to support people in that way. If you have any more questions about this slide, let me know. Put it in the chat. I don't see too much in the chat, but so I'm going to keep going because this is where a lot of you were like, what's going on with the PIHRA chapters and these PIHRA monthly meetings? So I hope you can see this slide well. We have chapters all the way north, starting at Antelope Valley and Ventura County. So Antelope Valley chapters, they're a small chapter. They don't meet that often right now. I think they're going through a transformation with leadership, but they meet out of Lancaster. Ventura County, you meet out of, is it Camarillo, Sonia? Okay. So, and I'm going to give you a moment to talk a little bit more about what's going on there because we have a couple people in that area on the call. And we go as far east as Coachella Valley. So they meet out of Desert Hot Springs. We go as far south as North San Diego County. I'll be honest, not a lot of activities in North San Diego County. We are doing the California Employment Law Update in Del Mar or La Jolla this year. But just north of there, we have PIHRA South OC. They meet out of Irvine. That is our largest chapter. Pre-pandemic, they would have meetings where you would see up to 100 people at their meetings. Now you probably see between 50 and 60. It's still our largest chapter. And then we go as far west as the beach. So our PIHRA West LA group meets out of Santa Monica. In terms of volume members, PIHRA South OC is our largest. PIHRA LA is our second largest. They meet out of downtown LA at the City Group. No, the City Club, sorry. And then our third largest chapter is North OC, and they meet usually out of Anaheim. They just had a fantastic event yesterday. This month was their social month, and then Long Beach had a great social. Quickly, let's see. As a PIHRA member, you select your preferred chapter. That could be a chapter near your home or near your office, but you can go to any chapter event as a PIHRA member and get the PIHRA rate. I would love to open up, Sonia, I know people have questions about monthly meetings, and what does it look like to go to a PIHRA Ventura County event, for
Yeah.
example?
Yeah, Ventura County, we have a rhythm. It's the third Thursdays of every month. It's in person at the Ventura County, I want to say Department of Education, right off Pleasant Valley. That we have it's a beautiful conference area. Breakfast is included. You can see the calendar, what the topics are. I think what's also pretty cool is that we have a monthly chat for those members who are in transition. So there's just this extra support and those trying to either change positions within HR or find a position in HR. And so there's a lot of support. And we felt like just having conversations with those and what the interview process is like and what the job opportunities look like. That's happening. And we've got our mixers. So I believe there's conversations about adding a virtual component, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, it's pretty much the lay of the land for Ventura. And we've got the awesome mixers too, which is always fun.
Yeah. So there's usually a cost to go to the meetings because there's usually a meal component. And if you said that, Sonia, I apologize. I apologize to all of you because I'm chatting up with Nina in the chat here. But there's a meal component. There's a networking component at the more traditional breakfast and lunch meetings, and there's professional development. So you can, if you are HR certified, you can earn recertification credit there. Members get at least $10 off the rate, the price to go to the events. Any other questions about chapters or meetings, if someone wants to unmute quickly or put it in the chat, I want to make sure you walk away with the information you need, because I know a lot of you asked about this.
I do have a question on that.
Hi.
Hi.
Pamela. Hello,
Yes.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I just recently joined as a member, but I don't remember seeing anything about how to like sign up to go to the monthly meetings. Is that also on the calendar? I might have missed it.
Yes, so you should be starting to get emails, and hopefully not too many emails. Every Monday you'll get a digest that says, hey, this is what's going on. And then you can, or you could just take yourself to the PIHRA calendar, and I'll put it, the URL, just if you, I like URLs, just get me there quickly. PIHRA.org/calendar, and it's in chronological order, all of the different meetings that we have going on. You could also sort it. We have regions. So, Pamela, what area are you in, more or less?
I'm near the Camarillo one.
Okay, so you would be, that's the northern region. So, and then I think I don't know, Sonia, if you know when the next Ventura County meeting is, I might have it on my screen, but maybe you could research that for me really quick. But yes, and then you could always email me, and if I can't meet you there, I will find someone to greet you. So if you're going to your first event, Sonia will meet you, because I know sometimes I have social anxiety. I'll just be honest with you all. And so I like to know, oh, someone's going to be there that I know. Okay, Sonia's saying on August 21st. Thanks, Chris. They're having a breakfast meeting. I've been to that venue, and it's really beautiful and nice, big screen. The food was good. I'm a foodie, sorry. So yeah, and I don't know what the topic is, but we could look that up for you too. I know Long Beach. Chris?
It was leave of absence, but I think they're changing that if I'm not mistaken for the
Okay.
Camarillo meeting.
Got it. Thanks, Chris. Leaves, everyone needs that, right? That's one of those ones. But yes, so Pamela, please let us know if you can make it, and we'll meet you there just and greet you. And they PIHRA Ventura County, by the way, our board member, they're volunteer. Each chapter, let me go back to this. Each chapter has their own board. So remember I was telling you that volunteering is like networking on steroids? Just talk to Sonia about that, because she's now knows everybody at PIHRA just because she started 3 months in as a membership chair. But each of these chapters has their own board. So if you're like, oh, I don't know how much time I want to commit, I don't even know if I like these people, go to a couple of these chapter meetings, check it out, find your crew, find your friends. I will tell you this, and this makes me emotional, and there's some men in the house. I hope you don't think I'm some like wimpy little woman. I've met lifelong friends here that I've gone to weddings. When I talk to, and I'm going to keep going because I feel like I'm dragging on, but this is so important. Go to meetings. You never know who you're going to meet. When I first started in 2014, I met this woman who PIHRA Long Beach. I think I had met her before, but she's still a member, and she's retired. And I said, why have you been a member for PIHRA for so long? And she looked me in my eyes and said, Lily, I met my best friend at a PIHRA Long Beach lunch. And they're fantastic. They still go to PIHRA events together. So you might just meet, somebody. We've had all kinds of connections go on through PIHRA. So, okay, I'll stop talking about that. But that's kind of the bonds and it's priceless. And I'm going to talk about other member benefits here, but those bonds and another person I've talked to says I found my HR Fab Five. So those people, because remember I told you doing HR can be difficult. Sometimes you don't want to ask your boss or your internal team to get advice, or someone just drops a bomb on you. Oh gosh, there's a sexual harassment suit, or your CHRO is having an affair with the CEO. I don't know if you guys all saw that in the news, but that's kind of a bomb. You need your external network. And this is where you're going to build that to say, how would you deal with this? Have you ever dealt with anything like this? And so this is where you're going to meet those people. In July through the 31st, we have a trial membership. So if you're not a member right now, give us a shot. Go to a meeting. It's free for 30 days, no obligation. And you can renew at a discounted rate, which I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit. So here's a URL. It's PIHRA.org/2025 preview pass. Give it a shot. Check it out. You'll get a couple weeks worth of access to some online tools as well. But it's worth it. And if it's not PIHRA, this is something I might not have said. Like I said, if you don't join our community, join a community. Another thing that I knew all along, but the pandemic really brought it to light. Don't isolate. I tend to isolate. Meet people, even if you're shy. Maybe you're not an introvert. Maybe you're not an extrovert, but just meet people. Even if it feels a little uncomfortable, you never know who you're going to meet. It might take you to that next place in your career, even in your personal life. So, okay, I talked about the preview pass. Well, it's our 80th anniversary. I also mentioned that. We had the deal of the century. So if you are an in-house HR practitioner, you can get a membership for the year for only $80. I just need to verify that you're working as I don't even care. You could be an HR assistant. You could be the CHRO of an organization, and you get an $80 membership. And I don't think I'll ever see this price again for a membership, but the URL is here. And then if you try it for 30 days and you're an HR practitioner, you can renew at the $80. You might just have to email me so I can help you do that because our system isn't very sophisticated, but I'll get you that $80 membership so you can try it out for a year. Remember, your career is an invest in yourself. We cannot rely on employers anymore to invest in us. So sometimes I hear like my employer won't pay for it. Like I get that. Time to find another employer, but also important for you to invest in yourself. Here's some popular benefits. We do California. I'm just going to focus on the key things. California focused HR. People come to us from all over the country and the world. If we have people, I had a gentleman working for, he was a CHRO in Mexico, but he had employees in California. He comes to us for the employment law updates. Some of the tools that we have are an HR hotline. It's through Mineral. So you can call or just go to the platform and ask any sort of question. And I haven't tried them in a while. Before they were fantastic. Now it's all through the platform. So and I'll get to that in a moment. Free webinars. And again, I think I really emphasize the relationship building and how important that is. I'm going to pause for a second because I feel like I've been talking a lot. Sonia, what is the benefit that is most attractive to you?
I mean, to me, I think what I was most surprised about the benefit I didn't see coming was those online webinars. Was my first layer. I decided to try, and the quality was so good. So I was impressed by the quality of speakers, the topics, and so then I found myself signing up like at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. And then the second discovery I mentioned was the peer exchange. And by the way, my first one was closely after the fires. And to see a community come together in times of crisis was it was kind of like just the bow that sealed the deal. Like we truly have each other's back. So I just wanted the virtual spaces are great too.
Yeah, I like those webinars too. Okay, so some of you asked about Mineral. You do get access to Mineral. If you haven't heard about Mineral, it used to be called Think HR. It's an award-winning compliance center. There is so much on there, but I will tell you this, you get access, but it's it's on a single sign-on technology, and it can be temperamental. So don't sit there and be like, Lily said I had access and I can't get into this, and get upset. Just email me. Within 24 hours, I usually can get you on,
So true.
usually. But it's this technology, it's a partner site, so that's kind of what happens there. But you get an award-winning compliance center. There's training. There's a enterprise learning management system on there that you can use to train your employees. There's also HR training. There's webinars on there. There's this PIHRA telephone-based consulting. I call it the HR hotline. There is a lot there. If you were to purchase these things on your own, it would probably cost around $10,000 per year if you utilize it to its maximum extent. So this is really great. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay, I think you work with one of our PIHRA leaders too, Jamie Lloyd. So welcome, Lindsay. I'm glad you're here. Yes, glad you're here. If you have a team of HR people in so a department, and you want everyone to have access to webinars and Mineral, we have an HR team membership, so it can save you some money. And also what that means is that you would select someone that would be the primary account holder, and they just renew the team membership every year, and that person has access to view what professional development the HR team is taking advantage of. And unfortunately, I'll just say it out loud, a lot of people join and they don't take advantage of the webinars, which is like, why wouldn't you do the webinar? There's one coming up that I'm going to tell you about. That's fantastic. I'm even going to do it. But not to go to at least one PIHRA meeting per quarter, or a seminar or something. It's you're doing yourself an injustice, but I get it. I don't want to shame anybody because I'm that person too. I really have to be pushed, but I just want to, don't wait until something blows up at that workplace, or you're like, you see the writing on the wall, like, oh, here goes a riff or something like that, because you want to have that knowledge base procured already. You want to have your HR Fab 5 or your HR Board of Advisors ready, because they may know of a position available that you can start working toward. So, and you get so many gifts. I get so many gifts from this community. It's unbelievable. Quickly, I don't know if anyone, thanks, Brian. The webinars are great. I don't know if anyone asked about volunteering. Yes. So, highly encourage you to volunteer. You could volunteer at the conference. That's very competitive because we have like 80 to 100 spots every year and 200 people apply. There is an application process. If you go to this URL, pihra.org/volunteer, it'll ask you if you want to find out more about volunteering. Click here. I think it says something like that. Click there and then put your name on the list to volunteer at the conference, or just email me and I'll put you on my distribution list. That application process usually starts in January, February. It's open. You could be on a chapter committee. Say you're like, hey, I don't want to take a whole year position. I don't even know. Just volunteer for an event. Ask, hey, or hey, this month I'd love to help you invite people to events. Maybe you're good at social media. You could help with social media. So a lot of things you could do at the chapter level. Go to your chapter, meet them, go to several chapters, because they all have different cultures. So just find the group that I believe that people work with people they like. So go find the group you like. Find the group that likes you. I mean, I think that's what drew Sonia and me together. That is like, oh my God, I think Sonia's fantastic. She's so smart. She's so kind. I want to work with her. And I asked her, work with me. And here we are. Then you go from the chapter level, go to the committee chair, like Sonia. She oversees all of the membership chairs. And maybe overseeing is not the right word, but she works with all of the chairs. She knows all of the membership chairs from each of the chapters. So that's that point I was making about gaining visibility. That's how you do it. Sonia, you want to share a little bit more about volunteering? Sorry, I get
Yeah, I think
passionate
there's a,
about
I know, well, this is probably one thing they're going to walk away with, like, okay, we get it, volunteer. But to me, there's an ease to it. Volunteer, depending on our community, can look and feel different. Volunteering for PIHRA, it's an ease and flow. It's not a lot of work. We're all understanding of each other's time commitment. And when I did a listening tour with our Ventura County Board, one of the top reasons why they volunteered was I just want to first, like, I want to connect, but I also want time to have fun. And so that I think that PIHRA, I know it depends on chapters, but there is time to say, well, what can I just be? Can I just be social and just have fun, which is what the mixers are for? So just don't be afraid of this word. There is an ease and flow to it. The conference is so fun to volunteer for. So get on the list.
get on the list. Thank you so much. All right. A lot of you had questions about seminars, conferences, and learning. We have all kinds of different, and I've talked about it already, a lot of different ways to learn: virtual learning, chapter meetings, conferences, specialty programs. Just, I know some of you asked, like, how do I find out about this? You should be getting emails. And if you're not, email me at membership@PIHRA.org, because I will chase down our marketing team and find out, and we'll try to find a solution for you. Sometimes you're not getting emails because there's a firewall. Sometimes you just need to whitelist our domain. Sometimes you just need to add us as your contact. I don't know. I'm not that techie, but those are the things that I've been told you can do to make sure you get the emails. But go to the PIHRA calendar. There's so much going on. It's fantastic. You get at least $10 off registration rates. So members do get special rates to attend the conference and the legal updates as well. I told you about the PIHRA webinars. The one I wanted to tell you about is coming up next week. It's July 22nd, and I haven't heard this person speak, and I don't have her name in front of me, but it's about reimagining conflict. And as HR, you probably, if you're not dealing with conflict, you're dealing with employees that are having conflict. And so the title is Reimagining Conflict: Help Your Teams Clash Constructively and Confidently. And so I'm going to do that one if I'm not at the PIHRA Burbank event, which is going to be really good too. And then on the 23rd, we have another webinar. It's a lot of wellness strategies and wellness initiatives have become important to our people in HR here in California. So that'll be good. Also, if you're interested in government affairs, which I didn't talk about our communities, we have different, gosh, let me go back. I don't have a lot of time, but why did I miss that? Here we go. It's because they're at the bottom. So on top of our chapters, we have 4 different committees or communities. Excuse me. One is we have the PIHRA Foundation. They are a separate entity, but they provide scholarships for people who want to pursue their HR degree or pursue the HR certification. They used to have 2 scholarship windows. Now this year, I think it's only 1. It's going to come up in the fall. So be on the lookout for that. We have the PIHRA Government Advocacy Team, which reminded me to come back here. They have a virtual power chat on July 31st, free, so you can do that. And they bring in different experts or elected officials to talk about different policy issues that affect the workplace. And they're fantastic, by the way. We have PIHRA College Relations. We have 12 student chapters. So, and by the way, these have their own boards as well. So another great place to volunteer. So our PIHRA College Relations, they work with our student chapters and our faculty to encourage student membership and build out student chapters as well. And we have PIHRA Emerging Leaders. I'm very proud of this group. They focus on early entrance into HR, and they're having the first ever PIHRA Emerging Leaders Leadership Summit on August 8th. So if you're an emerging leader, I think Angelina, you might be an emerging leader. You should check them out, get involved with them. I could introduce you to them as well. So sorry, I had to go back for a second because I forgot to talk about them. The government advocacy team has a virtual event happening on July 31st. So just go to the calendar and sign up for that. Yeah, that's where I left off. Certified. A couple of you asked about HR certification. I passed my SHRM SCP exam February 2021. I will never forget it. I never felt as proud of myself as that day. That has a very tough pass rate. I think the pass rate fluctuates, but that's the senior level. They have different types of HR certification. So, for example, HRCI, which is one certification agency, they do the APHR, PHR California, PHR, and SPHR, and then SHRM does the SHRM SCP and the SHRM CP. Get certified. I suggest if you're a generalist to start at the PHR or maybe even the PHR California. It definitely is a resume booster. The SHRM SCP, there's data out there that you can boost your salary by up to $20,000. I've also heard of insurance brokers or other HR adjacent folks getting their certification because they want to know what HR's pain points are. And this is a great way to learn about HR. If you have any specific questions about certification, I know it can be kind of a mystifying experience, like where do I begin? Who does what? That's a separate conversation, but if you go to this site, PIHRA.org/certified25, it'll list all of the preparation. So we provide preparation courses to prepare you for the exam. Like think about the SAT or the MCAT or the whatever, LSAT or a GMAT. I took the GRE, something like that, or GMAT. I forget what I took to get into my master's program. Think those prep courses that you took to take those exams, that's what we provide. And we provide, for me, oh gosh, I'm running out of time. I studied a lot. So certification is different for everybody. It really depends on, are you a good test taker? What sort of education do you have? Because you might have learned some of the like mathematical calculations at your, in your business program, or you might learn more if you have a master's in science and HR. You might know about certain things a little bit more, but it's so unique to everybody. So go there for more information. I think we have some coming up starting in August. So if you're interested, oh, great. Nina, I will introduce you. Great. Jordan, okay, I'm sorry if you have to leave. California employment law update. Here's what we got going on. We're going to be doing a tour starting in October. We'll be in Santa Ana on the 28th. We'll be in Burbank the 30th. And then we'll be in North San Diego County, January on the 15th, and then in Riverside County on the 22nd. And this is all you need to know about the California laws that you need to make sure you comply with and know about and instruct your managers and your CEO about. So this is one of our flagship events. You'll want to go to this one. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Oh, good. I'm glad you're going to Burbank, Sonia. This is our first ever PIHRA cruise. So go to hrcruise.org. It's selling out. I didn't ever dream of this. My boss, Raphael's been wanting to go to Mammoth and do an HR conference in Mammoth, but he decided Cabo instead. I don't know if I get to go, but I'm hoping maybe. It's selling out. There's only ocean view rooms available. So just go to that site and I could help get you more information if you're interested. Let's see. Okay, this is what I promised. I have 4 minutes left. Here are all the events happening from today through August 8th. There's a lot more going on the calendar. Let's see. Ventura County, you've met yesterday. So that just happened. We started this new wellness walk. It's called PIHRA Move and Mingle. We'll be at Runyon Canyon doing a walk in the morning on July 19th, free. We do a lot of talking. Lindsay's going to be at the Burbank Zoo. Oh, great. Great. I'll see you guys at CELU. I told you about the Reimagining Conflict webinar. Riverside. I don't know if any of you were in Riverside. They are really on fire right now. They are bringing in Van Lai Damone. I think you know Van, or do I have the name wrong? Van is fantastic. She's doing this exercise with everybody on July 31st in Riverside. It's from 3 to 5. If you're in that area, please go to this event. Van is fantastic. She incorporates creativity and into her learning, and something you can take back to your leadership teams and management teams. PIHRA Woodland Hills is having an event that's close to Thousand Oaks for you, and they're doing employment law. And then I already talked about the Emerging Leaders Summit in Irvine. Nina's going, so I'm so excited for you, Nina. Set a goal for yourself. Go to at least one PIHRA event a quarter. If it's not a PIHRA event, go to another learning event or networking event. It could be any organization. It could be, we have HRMA in Orange County, HRMA in LA County, HRMA, I think it's also in Ventura County. There's also law firms that do free webinars. Go to something. Invite one of your former coworkers out to lunch. Go call your former professor. Do something once a quarter for the next couple with the last 6 months of the year. So that's only 2 times this year. You should be doing more, but put it in your calendar. Do something. It'll pay off in the end. I promise you. Raphael supports me in this. We want you to become PIHRA members. We want you to be a part of our community. But if you don't select PIHRA, select another community. Get out there. You'll find one. You just have to kind of work it. Connect with us online. Say, I don't know. Go to our LinkedIn company page. You'll see a lot of what's going on there. Go to our Instagram page. So Pamela, you'll see if you follow us on Instagram, you'll find out a lot about what's going on every week. Facebook not as active, X not as active, the PIHRA forum not as active, but LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we're active there. So join us there. And with 1 minute to spare, thank you. My name is Lily Arguello. Call me or email me anytime. I want to make sure that you get the most out of your membership. And I really am pleased that you joined us today, and I'll hang out a little bit if you have any other questions, but thank you.